It's okay to not be okay. It's just not okay to stay that way. The one thing I know about emotions is that they change. 1 hour from right now, you will not feel the same way. And I want to encourage you tonight that you might be in your darkest moment. You might be going through hell and high water, but I want to prophesy over your life. It is always too soon to quit. God declares your best days are in front of you. Get up. Your future is brighter than your past. Get up. Your ladder is greater than your former. I want to say to every person in this room, get up, because the best is still yet to come. I got a God who works miracles. I have learned over and over again that life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react. That life is going to happen. And you're gonna set up a plan and you're gonna have a vision and you're gonna hope that it's gonna turn out perfect. But what so often happens in life is that things get burned and things go the wrong way. And it's in that moment that you're gonna have to choose your reaction. Are you just gonna look at the surface of the problem, or are you gonna get deeper into the problem and discover even in the problem, there could be a purpose to your pain and somehow God could use this thing? See, there's some people in this room right now that you need to hear this loud and clear. You need to get this in your spirit, because I don't know what you're walking through, but some of you right now, you are in a tough season. An event has happened and something's happened and maybe you have failed. But I want to remind you that failure is not final, it's formative. It is not final, it is formative. It is part of the process. How do you think you're going to grow if you don't ever fail? Yet some of you have failed and you have decided, well, guess what? I'm a failure. No, failure is an event. It is never a person. Just because you failed doesn't mean that you're a failure. In fact, failure is actually fuel for your future. The way that you grow, the way that you advance. You have to fail in order to succeed. I wish I could get a witness at 12:15 who knew that they've gone through some failures, and just because you failed doesn't mean it's final. It's formative. It's part of the story. Is shaping you. So often what we fail to realize is that we think life just happens to us and that dictates our future, but the truth is it's how you react that dictates your future. So many of us, we've gone through life and life has let us down. People have been careless with us that we think our God will be careless with us, but that's not who He is. He's the God who says, no, I can take this bad thing and I can bring good out of it. Research was done and they asked 50 people over the age of 95, if you had to live life all over again, what would you do differently? 3 answers came back. One of the 3 answers was, they said, if we could live life all over again, we would reflect more. Meaning we'd stop, we'd get silent, and we would evaluate objectively all that has taken place in the day. See, what happens to us is so often we go through life, and if you don't take time to systematically reflect and do a 20-minute replay, what you'll tend to do is maximize the bad and minimize the good. But when you take time to reflect, what you'll discover is, wow, there's actually more good than there is bad most of the time. And it starts to change the way that you feel. Happiness begins to increase. You're going through a tough time. Maybe you're walking through real depression. Maybe you are in a valley today that you've experienced the worst failure of your life and you are on the verge of giving up. God has something for you bigger than that. God has something for you deeper than that. God has this thing called joy. And you can't find joy on the surface of your problems. You got to cut the layer off the top. And you got to go deep down into your soul. You got to get into the heart of the matter, and you got to discover that even in that pain, that there could be purpose found in that thing, because in all circumstances, in all situations, you can learn to react with joy. Choose joy. You got to cut the layer off the top of that problem. Life, it's 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react. What if there's joy in there? What if there's fulfillment in there? What if there's satisfaction in there? What if you went deeper and reacted the right way? He says, always rejoice. He says the right reaction is to rejoice. We live in a world today that's got us so focused on everybody else that we're comparing our life to everybody else's life. And really what's taking place is that so many of us, we struggle with this thing called FOMO, fear of missing out. So you're sitting there going, oh my goodness, I want to be there, I want to be there, I want to be there. And anxiety and fear come whenever you start dwelling on the past and whenever you're afraid of the future. The only way that you actually step into happiness and joy is when you put the focus on where you are at and get engaged with the thing that you're doing. One theologian said, in this world of information, people have lost their wonder. And if you don't live life with awe and wonder, you will live life unhappy with a lack of joy. Sometimes we have to program and we have to systematize to make sure that we live in a world that we let wonder capture us again. I don't need to know what everybody's doing all the time. In life, I will fail. In life, events will come my way. And in life, I'll set out with a plan, but bad things will happen. And I have to make a choice to react. And my reaction is going to be, God, I'm casting my cares upon you. Failure's part of the story. And you need to hear it today, that it's forming your future. It's pushing you forward. Yet if you're not careful, when you fail, you have a choice to make. Do you have the right reaction or do you have the wrong reaction? It's the fact that we failed. It's the fact that we got burned, that we even had an opportunity to pivot and to react the right way to even tell a story. And some of you in this room today, you need to change your mind because some of you are thinking about giving up because you're in a season of failure. But just because you failed doesn't mean that God doesn't have a bright future in store for you. It is always too soon to quit. Like every one of my successes is stacked on top of failures. You need to get a revelation today that the joy is not in the success. The joy is in trying. The joy is in the process, that I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep going at it. See, failure is forming my future. Failure's framing up the story that God's going to tell. Failure is just another peg in the ladder for me to go higher. Failure for me is a research project. I don't want to just know how to make it work. I want to know why it doesn't work. And the only way I can find that out is I got to fall on my face. But guess what? The righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets back up.